Hey everybody, welcome to Prime Baseball. I'm Casey, and today I'm going to give you a tutorial on catching. So let's get after it. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to talk about the stance. So no runners on, pretty simple. You can just do whatever you feel most comfortable in. For me, I like one knee down, right knee up, and just here, boom. And then another big thing in your stance is that you want this right elbow up, so you don't want it like this, because then you can move there and there, and up and down, but you don't have as much range. If you go here, then you can move that way, and up. So you're here, make sure that this elbow's up, and then when, I'll get a side view, when you're here, you don't want this hand sitting here. I played one game like this, and it got hit 3 times, okay? So when they start throwing harder, your hand's gonna get hurt, so keep your hand right behind that foot. Some people teach them, like, keep the hand on the back, but I feel like that just makes everything a little bit awkward and more tense when it doesn't need to be. So I like to put it right behind my foot. I'm right here. Glove elbows up, and everything's good. And then when there's runners on base, what I do is I start like in a traditional catcher stance. I come here, and then I pop up a little bit. So basically here, with runners on base, you want your legs a little bit wider. You still want your butt down, but you want to be in a spot so that where you can come up and then throw down fast. Okay? And then one other thing with your stance is when you get into older baseball and you start giving signs, when you give signs, you want to give them with both your legs up instead of like this. So when you give them like this, if the dugout's over there, they can see every sign that you give. And also, tuck it up a little bit, because if you give it right down in the dirt here, people in the stands can see it and then relay it. But you probably won't have to worry about that for now until like 13U age group. Okay? So next we're going to go on to receiving the ball. Okay, so when you're receiving the ball, the way to do it is, so you give your sign here, and then put your glove arm up, you give your target, and then you'll see this in the older groups more, not so much the younger groups. Put the glove back down, and then they'll work up through it, okay? So this doesn't really give you much advantage when people aren't throwing pitches that go down. It doesn't really give you much advantage in the early age groups where they're just throwing fastballs and some okay changeups. But when you get into the older age group, it's something to work on, because you'll go here, you'll give your target for the curveball, you'll come here, and then the curveball might come down here, so where it's out of the strike zone, then you can come up and then frame it into the strike zone. So now, when you're framing, basically, you can't, it's hard to frame unless your glove's here, or the ump, you're going to give it away to the ump very quickly. So, you have your glove up, target, glove down, and when you're framing, just when all the time you're just working around the ball, okay? So, middle of the plate's here, I'm going to frame it, it's outside, I'm going to frame it, I'm going to come up and around it, and then right back into the middle, okay? So, that's the basics of receiving. Now we're going to go to throwing down the second. So, now we're in throwing down the second. Hopefully you can see this kind of sort of T here that I got. So, one of the first things that I was taught throwing down the second is your feet are wide, you're here. These 2 feet, they're on the tee when you start, or the top of the tee when you start. So you're here, on top of the tee, you're receiving, you're going to throw down, and then, so you just go from here, on this line, to on this vertical line, okay? So, that's a simple way to practice it. Another way is to think of it as like, if you've ever watched rodeo or anything, just bucking shoots. And so it's like stay on the chute. So instead of coming up here and then coming all the way around it, it's more here, you're up, and then you go straight to second without wasting any time and energy going this way or this way around. Okay? So, and then the last tip I have for you, we'll get rid of these. Last tip I have for you is to catch close to your chest. I learned this recently. So what I was doing was I was catching way out here, then I have to bring it back in and then back out. So what I learned is that you pop up, you're here, he's running, you come here, you catch it close to your chest, and then boom, quick transfer. Okay, next we're going to move on to blocking. So now we're in blocking, and first rule that I use in blocking is that I don't really block fastballs. I prefer to pick them because you don't know really if it's going to be a really low fastball or something that you have to block until the last second. So when I block, it's usually blocking off speed and breaking pitches like curveball or the changeup, okay? So the first rule, or the second rule I guess, that I use is when you are blocking, you want to think chest towards the plate, okay? So what this is going to do is it's going to stop balls that you block over here from going that way or that way. It's going to hopefully rebound them right back towards the plate, okay? So the second rule of thumb is that you want to catch it with your chest, like think catch it with your chest. So a lot of people will go up here, and the young and start blocking, they'll go up here, and then they'll try to bring their glove up here. That's not what you want. You have a chest protector for a reason, okay? So you're here, this glove is just to cover your 5-hole, so you're down here, and then catch with your chest every time, okay? So now you're here, your chest facing home plate, you've caught it with your chest, and what do you do with this, okay? So you can tuck it either behind, keep it behind your foot, and then just go like that, or you can tuck it behind your glove, which I think is what most people do. And then the last tip that I have is kind of a mental thing. When you're in a big spot and you can't let anything by you, let's say they're running on third, just think that you're a brick wall, okay? So that mentality has helped me a lot. And now we'll go on to tips. First tip that I have is when you're catching more than 2 games, I find that my wrist will start hurting. So just like a physical tip to like tape your wrist. That's something I like to do. And then another one is when you're a catcher, play aggressive, go after the ball, or you'll find that the ball is going to be coming after you really quick, and you're going to kind of get on your heels. You're going to be kind of jittery. That's not a great place to be. Okay. So when you think of catcher, you probably think of like the leader of the team, or maybe you think of like a quarterback of the team. That's a big thing. Is that a catcher doesn't just play his position. He has to know what the second baseman's going to do if it's hit there, or what the first baseman's going to do if it's dribbled back to the pitcher, and how many outs there are, and anything like that. So just make sure when you're catching, be the leader on the field, and don't be scared to be loud. And then another one is to be confident with the choices that you make. This is more so when you're like giving signs. Like when you are getting a really slow 2 for a curveball and you're not sure what to throw, your pitch is going to be like, what's going on? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? So just make sure that you're confident with your choices that you make as a catcher. And then the last one that I have, and this is a big one, this could help save your pitcher in some tough spots. So when your pitcher's having a down game, or he just walked the bases loaded or gave up a home run, go out and talk to him, because he just needs, most of the time, they just need a reminder to stick to who they are and just to keep calm. So that's a big one for me, and I hope some of these tips help. I hope this video helped, and have a great day.